Hello friends, this is Satvinder Bhatia from Sukhmani Immigration Services, Brampton, Canada. I'm a regulated and licensed Canadian immigration consultant. Today, very excited to share with you a brand new topic which has very limited information available over the internet. This topic is very important, particularly in 2023. This topic is called refugee. In 2023, the quota of refugees even further increased. So I am going to talk about a detail about refugee, file it or not. So we'll talk about all this, but before that, a request, if you have not subscribed to the channel so far, please consider subscribing. We talk a lot about Canadian immigration news, update, tips and tricks on this channel. If you like the video, please share it with your family and friends so that they can also benefit. And don't forget to press the bell icon. So let's get started on this very important topic of refugee. First of all, giving you a very important news, that is Canada is number one. It's a number one country across the world. In entire world, Canada is number one country in settling refugees. They are helping to settle refugees from worldwide to Canada. So now the question is it worth filing a refugee case in 2023 or not? That is the question, and we'll tackle this question on the way. So starting with, why people file refugee cases. This is a very, very important question. What is that which encourages people to file a refugee case? So there are numerous benefits which basically encourage people to file a refugee case, because first of all, you don't have to go for IELTS exam. No language testing. No language testing, English, French, nothing is required. No education is required. No degree is required. You don't have to show proof of funds. And another important thing, once you file refugee case, almost immediately you get open work permit. You can work anywhere in Canada in any profession. So you get an open work permit. That is also very important. And if your claim is approved, you get PR, permanent residence in Canada. And the cost of filing a refugee case is low as compared to arranging a LMIA or a job offer, which is much higher. And there is long wait time for the first hearing in IRB. So if you file today, it may take you almost 2 years. So for 2 years, basically you can enjoy the benefits of an open work permit. You keep working, nobody is going to ask you anything. You can, if you have kids, they can study. So that is why this encourages people to file refugee cases. And if rejected, suppose if the case is rejected by IRB RPD division, then you have an appeal division also, which is called RAD, Refugee Appeal Division. So if rejected, you can go to RAD. If RAD also rejects you, you may go to federal court also. So it's a long process. So that is why you get options. So plus, very important thing, government support and access to lot of programs, lot of funding from government is there. So you get healthcare also from the government side. So all these benefits basically encourage people to file a refugee case, which may be true, which may not be true also. So that is where the problem is. Now, let's look at the categories, the immigration categories. You know that I have covered previously also. There are 4 broad categories. Under the first category, which is called the economic immigration category, you get PR. So this is the category which includes, economic includes your express entry, PNP, your pilot programs like RNIP, your home child care programs, All these things come under agri-food pilot, all these things come under the economic category. So another category which is called family reunification. This is the case where you sponsor your parents, your wife, your kids, your brothers, sisters, all this come under the family reunification category. Third, which is very important category, which is called refugee category. We are going to talk about this category today. There is a fourth one also, which is called HNC, humanitarian and compassionate grounds. If time, somewhere we get the time, we'll surely talk about this in future videos. So HNC, but today the focus is only on refugee. So under refugee category, there is a question how refugees come to Canada. So basically there are two broad ways how refugees come to Canada. One is through resettlement. Resettlement is when a person who is in a different country comes here to Canada. It may be Somalia, it may be Sudan, it may be Afghanistan, it may be even the latest is Ukraine. So that is called resettlement. And this resettlement is facilitated by a worldwide agency from UN, which is called UNHCR. So UNHCR, people who are in a war zone or in a troubled area, they go to UNHCR, they provide the numbers, they provide you with a token, and then based on that, you are resettled in different countries. Canada is one of them. So that is called resettlement. And resettlement, there are many programs. There are government programs. So there is GARS, there is private program, there is group of 5, there is blended program. I am not going to talk about this area. Not talking about this area because this is almost quite fair play. The problem I am going to talk about is asylum seekers. So asylum seekers, it is here lot of things go right and wrong. So under asylum seeker, it could be two types. People come at the point of entry and they can come inland, which is within Canada. They come and into the Canada as a visitor, as a student, and then later on they can file a refugee. So this is called inland claim. There is a third part also, which is called like you are not going through a regular port of entry and you are just irregular border crossing. You are just doing the irregular border crossing. For example, Roxon Road. So you are intercepted by CBSA, then you are arrested, detention is there. But I am not going to talk about that area also. So mostly two areas, point of entry and inland claim. So now let's look at the important thing, which is the definition of refugee. So who is refugee? A refugee is a person who fled their country, home country, and they are at a risk of serious human rights violations, persecution, unable to return to their home country and are in need of protection. So as under asylum seekers, basically there are two categories, as I said, which is the convention refugees. So convention refugees who have a well-founded, the word well-founded is very, very important because it is not a subjective one, it is objective. It can be proved. So well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, or it can be membership of a social group. So if you belong to a group like LGBT, your chances of persecution in a different countries is there. You may be having a religion which is not suitable to the laws of that country. So you could be persecuted in that country. And other thing is political opinion. Maybe your political opinion is different as compared to the law of that land and you are at a risk. So you are not able to or willing to return to your country. So this is what is called as a convention refugee. There is a second one who is at need of protection. Person in need of protection are the one which face dangers of torture, risk to their life and risk of cruel and inhuman treatment. So if they return to their home country and people who cannot trust government to protect them. So even they think that government is also against them and the government cannot protect them. So these are the people who need protection. So these are the two main categories. Now, looking at the agencies, the three main agencies are there which are involved in the refugee process. The first one is of course IRCC. So IRCC is not a decision maker in making a refugee. They process your work permit, they refer you to IRB, which is RPD division, but they are not the decision makers. The decision makers are another agency. There is in between, there is also CBSA, Canada Border Security Services Agency. So Canada Border Services Agency is involved in detention and in also referring you to the different agencies also. There is a third one, which is the one which makes the decision on your claim. That is called Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada. This is the biggest tribunal, and RPD and RAD divisions are there. So they will refer you to the respective division depending upon your case. RPD will listen to your case for the first time. So these are the three agencies, important agencies to remember. Then, most important thing, when you are filing a refugee claim, the most important document of that all this claim is basis of claim form, BOC. So basis of claim form is what you can fill at the port of entry, or you come inside Canada, you can fill at that time also. And this is the form where you provide details about yourself, why you are filing a claim. You file details about yourself and reasons for your claim and why you are seeking protection in Canada. So decision maker, the member of IRB, he will look into this along with the other evidence and your testimonies and make decision accordingly. So most important document in the entire refugee process is your basis of claim form. Now, my final words, because this is quite a big and a lengthy topic, so final words on this are: do not use refugee as a ticket for immigration. It is not a shortcut to get around the normal immigration rules and procedures. And your claim has to be honest. Plus, credibility is the biggest issue in refugee. So, if the credibility is there, the chances of getting the claim and your refugee status are much higher, but mostly the issue is with the credibility. And if you provide wrong information, you may be at a risk of getting misrepresented and banned, and this can even impact your future applications or visa processes even in future too. So these are the final words, and as I always say, if you want to discuss your own case with us, you can book an appointment, you can schedule an appointment. Our office is in Brampton, email ID, phone numbers, everything is shared right here with you. Very important thing, if you have not subscribed to the channel so far, please consider subscribing, and thank you very much for watching the video. Thanks.